We're going to blow your mind today on The Express. It's about not-so-ordinary people doing extraordinary things.
On today's show,
It's the anti-robot, ladies and gentlemen!
the anti-robot at the Mini Maker Faire.
The purpose of building it was to create a new human experience.
It's a conversation maker, and it's why people remember me.
Siobhan McCarthy's Clown Show.
It's very much like Behind the Music, but with clowns.
I like that there's somebody who's giving these opportunities to teenagers, you know?
The Velveteen Village Pop-Up Project. And later, the one and only Panterragaffe.
They want to know where we got it. Most people don't believe that we made it.
See that and more local expressions.
Just so cool.
Welcome to The Express. I'm Johanna Ward. We are going to see some pretty wild stuff on today's show. We're at the Vancouver Mini Maker Faire. It's basically a celebration of making and creating and blowing things up. And you know, creativity comes in many forms and it takes dedication. We'll see that with our first story. It's all about a day in the life of a clown.
Hello, Siobhan speaking.
Getting ready for the Banff Media Festival is a full-time job. That's the case for Siobhan McCarthy anyway. She's busy preparing for the festival where she'll be pitching 2 shows.
This year I'm pitching Dads, which is a comedy about stay-at-home dads. And I'm pitching Clown, which is a docu-soap or documentary based on who's interested on comedy from a female perspective.
Comedy from a female perspective is one way of describing her show Clown, based on a character Siobhan developed, Bliss, the adult clown.
I always felt the show was more like a docu-soap in the following of going to the show. Like, ride an electric bike. On my way to work, I don't look like most people. I'm actually in a clown costume. And there's a lot of drama and funny things that kind of come into play. It's very much like Behind the Music, but with clowns.
But being a clown as well as a producer can sometimes make doing business in Banff challenging.
She's a very kicky girl.
It's a conversation maker, and it's why people remember me. Well-behaved women never make history.
This is Siobhan's 3rd time at the festival, and she's learned that a lot of Banff is about relationship building.
Go to meet people, go on a fact-finding mission. I wouldn't go with a hard sell, I'd be soft sell and sell yourself more as an individual and get to know people so that you can establish those relationships.
For Siobhan, Banff is an exhausting but rewarding experience.
The best thing to do is really just kind of establish relationships with people so that it's like seeing old friends that you haven't seen. I mean, yesterday I was able to reconnect with people I haven't seen in a year. It's a lot of work, but it's definitely worth it.
I'm Erin Shaw in Vancouver for The Express.
Bliss is the name of Siobhan's clown, and as you can imagine, an adult clown is a lot different than a children's clown. Not a lot of animal balloons in her show. And I don't know if there are animal balloons where we are, but there's certainly tons of wild, wonderful, and wacky stuff. This is Vancouver's first ever Mini Maker Faire.
DIY culture is do it yourself, and it's all about, you know, getting your hobbies and getting your friends in doing things, but also being a part of that community and sharing ideas and sharing resources. Glow-in-the-dark bike, what a great idea. Where'd you come up with it?
I saw someone, I stole the idea like all great ideas, so I saw someone with a glow bike. I said, I want to build that, and then I said, I want to build kits so that other people can build that. I want hundreds of these glow bikes in the city. Basically, it's a wire that's covered in phosphorus, and you do a little bit of soldering work, it's not too hard. And then you get one of these drivers, and then you put it together, and then you put it on your bike. It's really safe, and you know, it's really fun.
The groups that it started with was the Vancouver Hackspace, which is like software engineers. Then there's VCL, which is larger scale installations, more machine working. And then there's Eat Art, and they build large scale kinetic sculptures.
So that's not even the completed machine?
No, that is about 1/2 of a 2/3 scale leg. The purpose of building it was to create a new human experience, to create a new human-machine interactivity. I've always had a fascination with how humans and machines interact.
So it's interesting because it's really philosophical, even though it's obviously like insanely technical and way over my head.
Yeah, it was rooted in my fascination with watching machine operators and mountain biking and martial arts.
Well, congratulations. It's pretty insane and awesome.
Thank you.
Like everything here.
Woo! Prosthesis, the anti-robot, ladies and gentlemen.
It's been really cool to see it all unfold and happen. It's so cool because while, organizing this, we saw all the groups sort of emerge. It started with that pocket, but there's so many more.
Wow, 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 it just keeps on going. What has 8 legs, 4 pedals, and a cowskin seat? It's another creation in the spotlight here at the Vancouver Mini Maker Faire. And we're heading to the West Vancouver workshop where the Panterragaffe was brought to life.
If Frankenstein rode a bicycle, it would probably look like this.
They want to know what it's called. They want to know where we got it. Most people don't believe that we made it.
It's called Panterragaffe, a 2-person metal walking machine powered by pedals. To most bystanders, it's an engineering marvel. To designer Paul Locke, it's art.
The original leg mechanism comes from an artist in Holland. His name is Theo Janssen. He's famous for making the sculptures called Strand Beast. They're made of plastic tubing and they're driven by wind power, and he puts them on the beaches in Holland. As soon as I saw his work, I immediately thought that there was a possibility to make a bicycle. A couple of years later, a small prototype and 3 remakes, we managed to reverse engineer it and get it to work.
And there was a lot of legwork.
Oh, there's more man hours to this than you can possibly imagine. It took some blood, sweat, not many tears, but yeah, we had a great time putting the whole thing together.
Got it.
And when they hopped on for the inaugural ride,
it was rather anticlimactic because it didn't take too long for something to break. So, but now that we've got all the bugs worked out, we took it out to Car Free Sunday last weekend, and it feels wonderful to ride up and down the street and watch the children's faces and adults acting like children when they see it.
People like Zakia Middlechild, who couldn't resist stopping for a closer look.
I can't imagine. I never had even conceived of anything like this. It's just so cool.
And that's exactly the response Paul is hoping for, because he says art doesn't have to be boring or pretentious. Like Panterragaffe, it can be simply and blissfully fun.
Yeah, everybody can sort of imagine themselves doing something like this, that they know what to do with this kind of art,
And today, they stare in complete amazement. I'm Chung in West Vancouver for The Express.
To check out more of Paul's crazy creations, go to metrods.com. You're watching The Express, and we have more from Vancouver's indie and inventive culture coming up. After the break, Rise Alliance's new pop-up project.
It's a huge project to run your own store.
Drove by this Fisher-Price keyboard.
Disaster area at the Mini Maker Faire. You're watching local TV on The Express.
Community programming on Shaw has been generously sponsored in part by...
The Express is brought to you in part by Plum, fashion supplier to host Johanna Ward.